Welcome, my name is Meekela, this is Meekela Reads, I live here. Welcome back to another installment of Meekela Rereads the Twilight series for the first time in 15 years. This is in fact the final installment of the series because in this video, will be reading Breaking Dawn. Spoiler, I have already read most of the book at this point. We're filming this retrospectively for scheduling reasons that I will get to at a later point in the video. But as you are, I'm sure, aware, this is the final book in the Twilight saga. Breaking Dawn is the fourth book in the series, and to be honest, I'm a little bit glad we're over. I'm a little bit glad we're at the end. It's been fun, Stephanie Meyer, and I don't regret my time I've spent revisiting these pages, but by golly gosh, I am a little bit tired of reading about Edward, Jacob, and Bella. So, because I've already filmed most of this video, I know what I can tell you about it. In this video, we obviously read Breaking Dawn. I have lots and lots of thoughts about Breaking Dawn. We bake some cinnamon scrolls, and realistically, we're just fighting to maintain expectations and boundaries that I put on myself for reading this book, and we struggle. More on that later. To get you some context, I have read the first 3 books in this series. I will leave them linked down below somewhere for you to see. I have an annotating system. You can see it. It's the same as it has been for the last 3 books. Pink is for things I like, blue is for things that are problematic, green is for quotes, yellow is for structure, and orange is for when I run out of blue tabs. And secondary, green can sometimes also be when I run out of pink tabs, but I haven't done that this time because I purchased enough tabs for this read through. So, without further ado, let's jump into the video. I hope you enjoy your stay here. Welcome to all of the new people. Again, there's a lot more people here than what there used to be. You'll see me again because I'm now also filming the outro preemptively for, once again, scheduling reasons. But as I said, more on that later. Hello. Hi, voiceover Meekela here because I did not turn my microphone on for this portion of the video. The TLDR of it is that I summarized the start of the book. We open directly into wedding preparation, wedding things happening. The wedding does happen. Jake crashes the wedding after gallivanting in the woods for months on end. We then enter the world's most boring honeymoon known to man and vampire. I forgot that this book gets more raunchy, but there's still an element of fading to black, so we need to use our imagination somewhat. We then get to page 100, which is where I'm currently at this point in time, and Edward is chucking his first tantrum, for the first time, which I actually agree with, on their first night as a married couple. But we'll get there. The first 100 pages of this book are fine. Jake continues to be just bad. First of all, in what world do you make one corner of the triangle, of the love triangle, your best man? Wild. We then have this one bit where Bella says, "Now everyone I love is here." And he goes, "Sorry I'm late, honey." She is married, just as an FYI for this section. But we move on. I then also go on to talk about what is going to be in the 750 pages of this book, because I know the plot line of the story, and if this is happening now, what do they fill the other 650 pages with? Doesn't feel like there's going to be enough story happening. Anyway, back to your scheduled video. Oh, I didn't put my microphone on. I'm so dumb. I'm so sorry. I refuse to refilm it. Here we go. For the remainder of this video, if everything goes to plan, this video should be going up on Sunday this week. It is currently Monday. I have exactly 6 days to have this book finished, all 750 pages of it, and the video up and out to you. Can she do it? I'm also supposed to bake something and I don't know what to bake this time around. I'm gonna have to Google appropriate vampire/half vampire recipe ideas. If all else fails, I have some rotting bananas that need to be turned into bread once again. So I'm going to continue to plug through the first quarter of this book as much as I can and continue to do life stuff like my washing, because it's a week here in the Meekela Reads household, and so that means that we continue with our life things. I got maple syrup on my hand. Bad sensory. Hi. I was very much hoping that I would be able to, absorb the sunlight today since the days are getting longer again finally, but that is not the case. I ended up leaving work late, it's a whole thing, but I just wanted to say hi, touch base, tell you my plan for this week with my snorty dogs. I'm just gonna sit down, eat some pasta together, and then discuss how this week is gonna work, because at this point, I'm questioning whether or not it's going to. Today's Tuesday. I have read exactly 123 pages of this book, and this video is going up on Sunday. I'm hoping that actually happens by some miracle. To do that, we're gonna have to do some serious reading. So I've also managed to sign myself up to an Auslan, like an Australian Sign Language course, starting tomorrow afternoon on every Wednesday for the next how many weeks, I don't know. Because she said to herself, Michaela, you don't have enough hobbies between reading and circus and crocheting and video editing. Add another one, why not? So that's a whole other afternoon that I won't have to read this book. But that's fine. We'll move on. We'll live. So I'm going to soak up what is left of the sunlight for the afternoon and try to read more of book. That we get like an entire section of Jacob in his head with the pack. Did I not say in the last book that I just wanted some more wolf stories? I just wanted some more wolf storylines. I hate being in Jacob's head more than anything, but I am enjoying the fact that we get to see just primarily wolf stuff. The whole imprinting on a 2-year-old thing though still weirds me out, still can't get past it. I have about 50 pages until I'm officially a quarter of the way through. Did I spend 3 hours on TikTok instead of actually reading? Yes, but it's fine. We're moving on. But that is all. I just wanted to share my excitement with you about the fact that we get werewolf stories. I forgot. Remember when I was like, I wonder what she's gonna put in the 750 pages. I don't remember there being that much story. It's because we get the wolf stories. It all makes sense now. I will have it be known that I'm at page 185 and I have exactly one blue and one pink tab left. Who is she? I thought it was going to be the blue tabs that we'd run out of first, but no, I'm about to put the last pink tab on this page. The first time in all 4 of these books that I have run out of pink tabs before the blue ones. Who is she? To be fair, there's so many things that I would have put a blue tab on, but it's not worth the effort of having to write and explain why. I'm still frustrated with the same things that I've been frustrated with for the last 3 books. Alright, hi, we've changed locations. We have officially hit the 25% mark for Breaking Dawn. So far in this story, from where I last left you, so continued the most boring honeymoon known to man and vampire until Bella coerced Edward into sleeping with her again, which was all very confusing and odd, and I don't know how to feel about it. And then we fall headfirst into the pregnancy trope, where Bella discovers that she is in fact pregnant. We end part 1 of the book and then we flash forward into Jake's perspective, where we spend an uncomfortable amount of time, at least where I'm up to. Jacob is just living his best emo phase. He's living his best emo sad boy life. Listening to Upon a Burning Body and just being so awfully morose that I'm genuinely sick of it. He goes around Sam's orders, goes to visit Bella to make sure that she is still in fact a human, and then finds out that she is, of course, pregnant and still a human, which poses a manner of other issues. He has a heart-to-heart with Edward. Edward basically convinces him to enter a suicide pact with him. Jake returns to the wolf pack, who are now hell-bent on ending Bella and the baby's life. Despite the fact that literally 20 minutes ago, they were all hands on board to protect her from everything and anything. Hello, do you want some attention? Yep. All right, you can sit up here. I have a lot of questions about why the housekeeper thing happened while they were on their honeymoon. Like, I don't understand their plot purpose in the story. Are you comfortable yet? I feel like there's many other ways that Stephenie Meyer could have either portrayed that the island was serviced by someone or something, or could have included the weird lore of vampire-human copulation in some other way. It just felt really weird. I don't know why they were there, they felt out of place. When Bella found out she was pregnant, she handled that in complete reasonable mind. No emotion mind, no wise mind, reason mind only. Initially, I thought that I was excited to have the wolf story, to have the wolf voices, to understand what was happening from the wolf's perspective, which I am. I'm enjoying the pack discussions, the pack politics, all of the drama that's happening with the imprinting. However, I cannot stand reading from Jake's perspective because he is an emo sad boy who is brash in all of his discussions with other people, is completely and utterly rude to people who are just trying to care for him, and he's just having a hard time. I think he's just going through it at the moment, and it's painful to sit through. The only other thing that I didn't remember about any of the story, because it wasn't in the movies that I watched repeatedly, is that Esme's backstory and how she became a vampire is completely glossed over, but is really quite tragic. She jumps off a cliff as a human. The paramedics that picked her up thought that she was gone. They thought that she was done, or at least they decided that it wasn't worth trying to save her. So they left her at the morgue, and Carlisle found her at the morgue with her heart still beating. That is grim. That is dark. Really quite tragic, really quite harrowing. But those are my thoughts. We're 25% of the way through. I'm gonna sign off for tonight, and we will hit this again tomorrow night after I've gone to learn sign language. Are you right? Hi, it's day 2. 3? How long have I been? This is day 3. This is day 3. I am currently running very late to go to my sign language course. So we're gonna take Raking Dawn in hopes that we find a minute to try to read it. But my hopes remain low, and my skills I hope will be high. What is appropriate clothing to wear to a sign language course? A Sailor Moon hoodie is the hope. We're ready. Let's go. Hi, it is day 4 of reading this book. And let me tell you, I am bored. Hang on, let me scooch a bit closer to you. All right, we've officially hit the 50% mark of this book. Not a lot has happened. Nothing happens in this book. This book is unnecessarily long. I have read almost 400 pages at this point, and I can probably tell you in one sentence what has happened. So let me take less than a minute to update you on what has happened just in the last quarter of the book. Jake has his moment where he becomes the alpha of his own pack, and Seth and Leah split with him. Bella has formed an alliance with Rosalie because Rosalie is the only person who is supporting her with her decision to keep the fetus. The fetus is harming Bella in many different ways by punching her and kicking her from the inside and breaking her ribs repeatedly. And they also realize that Bella needs blood because the baby needs blood. So Bella starts drinking blood. We go through days and days and days of nothing, of Jacob's internal monologue that is exhausting, inclusive of a weird Leah character development moment that I just don't understand why it's there. The book could have gone without it. I don't really care for Leah, to be honest, although I do empathize with so many of her issues, and she has a lot of good points, and Jake is an immature little boy. Edward starts to hear the baby's voice, becomes attached to the baby. It starts to support Bella. Jake chucks a tantrum, drives away, comes back. Bella breaks her back and is in labour and gives birth to child. Bella is then turned, and then we wait for Bella to turn into a vampire. That's 50% of the book. Again, not a lot's happened. Definitely not 400 pages worth of content. There's a really weird component to this where Carlisle has found out what chromosomes humans, vampires, and werewolves have and what they have and haven't got in common. It is too windy. We're going to take this inside. What was I saying? Carlisle has found this weird thing about the chromosomes and is like, humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes, vampires have 25, werewolves have 24. How did he figure that out? Although not a lot is like happening in this section of the book, there's a lot of like supposed character development. Not Jacob, who is the main narrator of this part of the book. Stephanie Meyer continues to point out to us the parallels and the conclusions that she wants you to draw for the characters, which I don't love, but it does mean I have to do less work to actually think about what's happening in the book. But one thing that I've actually quite enjoyed about the character development in this part is that there's a lot of really weird role reversals and a lot of unlikely friendships and unlikely or likely rivalries and little quips and stuff that happen, particularly between like Rosalie and Jake, or between Jake and Edward. There's just a lot of different explorations of character relationships, and I think that is what I have enjoyed the most about this part of the book, particularly since I really don't enjoy reading from Jacob's perspective whatsoever. And so we have made it officially to the halfway point. Esme does make food for Jacob and Seth and Leah. She makes them, I think it's omelettes and cinnamon scrolls. And so for our baking component, we have cinnamon scrolls. Because I don't want to make omelettes, I don't like omelettes, we're going to eat some cinnamon scrolls. So that is my plan likely for tomorrow. I'm going to keep trucking away at the next section, part 3. We're back in Bella's perspective. She's turning into a vampire. So I'm going to soak up the outside sunlight because it is just divine today. It's a toasty, lovely 24 degrees. It's very windy though, and I'm not about that. This is the windy season. I hate the windy season. If there is a weather that I cannot stand, it's wind. Anything else, heat, rain, cold, snow, I'll take snow over wind. Anything over wind. I cannot deal with the wind, but we'll brave it for today because I want the sunlight. Let's go. Edward has just become even more beautiful than Bella even realised, and I just feel like vomiting.